Hey guys, it's Gummo here with another Warhammer Battle Report. This time it's my Empire versus Demons of Chaos, mostly Nurgle, well, all Nurgle build. Putting this in for Malorians around the world in 12 games campaign for June. My list, I'm prepping for a one-day tournament for next week. Going to the Light Council, Archlector on his Popemobile, a level 3 light, and then two level 1s of light. Got the BSB, 45 halberdiers with 2 detachments of 5 archers, 10 more archers with another 5 detachment, 5 knights, 4 demis with the Eternal Flame Banner, 3 demis again, steam tanks, Lost Hurricane, Hellblaster and Engineer. So a little different. I'm starting to play around with multiple demigryph units and more archers pretty much. You can see in the picture there I've got some proxied spearmen there for the archers. They haven't turned up yet. Hopefully I'll get another 15 and get them painted before next week. This is my opponent's list. As I said, all Nurgle. I don't have his exact list in front of me, but I'm pretty sure we'll get it close. I've got the Great Unclean one. He's got 2 greater gifts. He's got the Fence Blade, +1 to wound as well. +1 to his wounds, I should say. He's got a Herald of Burgle. Apparently I can't type. 2 lesser gifts on him. 33 Plague Bearers, another 12 Plague Bearers, 6 Beasts, and then a single Beast. 2 lots of 3 Plague Drones, and 2 lots of 5 Furies. So his Great Unclean one, was that toughness 7? 7 wounds. So yeah, and I in my list, if you saw that before, was only 1 cannon. That's on my steam tank. So I'm obviously hoping for lots of action in the banishment side of things. So for spells, I do get banishment on my level 3. He's also got Fars and Baronas, and then I've got Shem's Burning Gaze and Speed of Light on the other level 1. And he's got Nurgle magic, so he's got Miasma, Curse, Lapa, Rancid Visitations, and Fleshy Abundance. So, my deployment. I'll go through this a bit more detail later. But yeah, basically, got my knights out on the left there, the steam tank. 3 demis at the front on the hill, and then 4 behind, just touching the hill. The hill's block line of sight in this tournament that we're prepping for, or that I'm prepping for. So we played those rules. The Hellblaster right up there on the 12-inch line. Halberds at the back with the 2 detachment of archers around them. I've got my level 3 and one of my level 1s, the one with Speed of Light in the halberds. And the halberdiers, sorry, all the BSB's also in there as well. Hurricaneums at the back. Popemobile's right up the front as well, purely so I can try to get into the range of the 24-inch banishment. And then I've got the 10 archers and their 5 detachment over to the right with the Shem's Burning Gaze level 1 in that one. I mean, my biggest mistake on my setup is for some reason I wanted to have my steam tank on the other flank, but I don't know, I put it in over there on the left because I thought I want to get it on the hill for shooting its cannon. Ends up costing me a little bit, as you'll see. And just going back to his deployment, so he's 2 drones out there. The skirmishing Plague Bearer models, I think they are just the Furies. He's got the other models, they're just still getting worked on. He's got 6 ogres there proxying for his beasts, and then a single beast at the front there in front of the big block of Plague Bearers. And he's got his Herald in there on the plank one, and you can see the Great Unclean one obviously, and then just the other set of Plague Bearers out on the right. I got the +1 to go first, but I didn't roll high enough, so he comes at me. Just surge forward as you would, being Nurgle. This pitch is actually after my turn, or on my movement actually, because I sort of forgot to take enough pictures. So yeah, that's why you can see my steam tank over there. So yeah, he's pretty much just moved up. He rolled 11 for magic, so 11 to 7. Can't even remember what happens on that one. Maybe it's yes, that's the 4+. He gets +1 to all his ward saves, so he's got 4+ ward until his next magic phase, right across the board. So that's not going to be fun. He I don't know how many dice he threw at it, but he threw a Curse of the Leper on his beasts there. Got that off miscast while he did it and lost his remaining dice. But he rolled a 3 for the toughness boost. So now those beasts of Nurgle, they're toughness 8. Toughness 8 with 4 up ward. Nice. So my Empire turn 1, I don't do a heap movement, but sort of swivel a little bit, I guess, to face him. But I do send my knights on the left there into those plague drones. So this is the issue. I've run my steam tank as far forward as I could, but because of just where he was, I couldn't get any charges off, which just really has blocked me up there on the left flank, which is a problem because my 4 demis are the one with the Banner of the Eternal Flame, and I want them in combat with the beasts, and it's going to be hard. So pretty much my steam tank's cannons are just a waste. The way I couldn't even pivot enough to get him lined up with the Grand and Clean one, just the way I deployed him. Just silly, silly, silly. The archer the archer units will just sort of move up. My goal there, I guess, is to just try and get them to be charged instead of my War Altar, to let it have a couple of banishments before it gets in combat. Yeah, that's pretty much it with the movement. Actually, interestingly, if I just go back quickly, what I was planning on doing before he got the 4-up ward off on all his units was keeping my War Altar in 6 inches of my Hellblaster, getting Soulfire off and firing, Hellblastering flaming attacks into his beasts. But yeah, with the 4-up regen, 4-up ward on them, anyway, it's just a waste. So for my Empire Magic phase, I get 12 to 6 on the dice. So that's great. So I just 6 dice the bound banishment, but I don't get it. I don't roll double 6. He manages to dispel that with all his 6 dice. And then I 6 dice the strength 5 banishment that I had because I moved one of my wizards out of 12, which is a bit silly. So because it was just strength 5, I just went for that single beast just to get rid of him. So here goes. And then my Hellblaster unloads 22 shots into the plague drones. Manages to kill 1. That's what you get when they got 4-up wards. My cannon on the steam tank didn't do anything. I think it actually came up short on the beasts and hit a fury, and he warded that as well. So there you go. In combat, I managed to squeak a wound through on the plague drones, but we just stick. And Demon turn 2, so charges galore. There's 2 Rotflies there going to the flank of my knights. His furies fly over and get into my Hellblaster, and his beasts get into the archers that are in front of my halberdiers. So this is just bad use of my redirectors. I've brought extra archers and I haven't used them properly. It's a shame. So yeah, they're all in combat. Magic was 8 to 7. Don't think the Reign of Karis table did too much there. He went for Curse of Leopards on my halberd. I dispelled that. And then he threw Rancid Visitations at him, killed 4. So a few guys get knocked off there. In combat, obviously, the beasts just destroy those 5 archers, overrun into the halberds. And the Furies manage only to kill 1 of the Hellblaster crew, and he holds. So that's a bit annoying because now they're sort of blocking my... If I could still get my demis that are in front of my 4 demis out of the way, I can't even flank charge because the Hellblaster's still there. But in any case, I don't think I can make the wheel anyway. Yeah, so that's just the archers dying. Obviously, the plague drones take out those knights and overrun. Well, one of them overruns, the other ones pursue. Wasn't too unhappy with that. I mean, they were going to die anyway, and I just wanted them out of the way for a bit. So my Empire turn 2, I get 3 steam points off the movement, and get a charge onto the big plague bearer unit, and I guess that's what I wanted, where I wanted the steam tank. It was actually interesting how we played that, and I think we got it right. Was The steam tank actually started in the front arc of these guys, but I rolled enough to hit the flank. But obviously you need to, if you the way we play it, and like, I guess I think it's how you should do it, is you have to, if you can make contact, then you have to obey the rules of a charge. The problem is I couldn't really get in the front because the great unclean one was there, but I could clip the front just, but couldn't close the door, and so they were able to close the door. So that's how come they sort of look like they've turned around, and that's as much as maximise we could get because of the great unclean one. So those 3 Daemons, I'm just using them as chaff now for the great unclean one. I've just moved him up a little bit, pointed him that way, so if he does charge, he's at least going away from my main combat at the moment. And then I've backed up my demis with the Eternal Flame banner just to, hopefully be able to wheel and get a charge into the flank of the beast once that Hellblast is dead. But that's the plan. The archers are just moving up more to get in the way of his other units and these Furies and Plague drones. Plague Bearers. I've got that, my level 1s with the Shems has moved right at the back there, and within 1 inch, so he can't drop his Furies on him straight away at the moment anyway. Magic's 11 to 6. This is a pretty pivotal magic phase actually. And like you always do, I think I played it wrong. But anyway, yeah, 11 to 6. Do I throw a lot of little spells or 2 big ones? And even discussing, I think we were talking about it's probably better to throw lots of little ones, make him suck out the dice, because there was a few things to do here. I could, bound banishment, which still I need a 4+ or whatever it is to get off. Got another banishment. There's all the buffs on the Pope mobile to help the combat with the halberds. Plus things like speed of light and Baronas. But yeah, I didn't go. Anyway, 5 dice Baronas, got that off. He let that through. So I had 6 dice left, and he had 6 dice, and that's when I was like, I didn't feel like throwing little bits at the bound spells, and him just throwing little bits as well and dispelling everything. I mean, wasting him. So I just 6 diced the bound banishment into his great unclean one. Got 4 wounds on him, but in hindsight, should have probably thrown 3 or 4 at least at the Soulfire, so at least the beasts weren't getting any regen saves, and then probably still would have had a couple of dice left to try that banishment anyway. But that's how you learn, I guess. So yeah, there's just Baronas on the halberds. In the combat phase, the steam tank kills 5 plague bearers. They're going to be there all game. Hellblaster finally dies, and yeah, a crap ton of halberdiers die. I think it was, I don't know, 12 or 14, something like that. We managed to kill a beast, but that was about it. And they reform into a big line to get more attacks in. I really needed the flaming attacks there, and that's when I really regretted not just going off Soulfire. So Demons turn 3. You can see the plague drones over on the left have reformed. That's about it. So I'm missing photos here. To the right flank, they just move up, and the Furies on the right flank there had charged my archers that were in front of my level 1 of Wizard. But that was about it. The big thing you'll see missing there, though, it was Magic was 8 to 6. He 2-diced miasma on the halberds. Miscast it, and he went down a hole. So bad luck for him. And that's what I'm thinking, well, hang on, now I'm a bit happy thinking, well, put myself out of position, but now he's just lost his magic, so that's a good thing, but can my halberds hold out, He managed to squeak a wound through on my steam tank, but look, they're going to be there all game. And then he just demolishes my halberds again. I started counting up instead here, so I've only got 14 regular halberds in that unit, technically. After all the deaths he's just dished out. I've still got my 2 wizards and my BSB. He hasn't been targeting them. So I lose combat, so I'm steadfast on a 9, rerollable. And I fail it. And run off the board. And my Hurricaneum fails his panic. and that level 1 of light fails his panic, and they're all off the board. So I just lost, even though he just lost his Great Unclean one on his turn in Magic phase, in his combat phase, I've just lost, yeah, just a heap of my army. So yeah, those guys, the beasts down the bottom there, are just there. Obviously, they're going to come on his next turn. The Furies there have killed 3 archers, but the other 2 actually hold, which is amazing. And the 12 well, there's 11 now plague bearers kill those archers and overrun into my Potentbill. Looks like his other Furies has charged my engineer, and that's about it. So my turn 3, I send these 3 demis into the flank here, just to help save the Pope. And I sent my 4 demis out on the left into those guys there, you can see there, into those plague. I could just see those 3 rot flies, and I went in. Looking back at this too, I'm probably would have been better charging the Furies with the engineers possibly, and hopefully go for a long overrun just to get out of the way, and also bring those guys to bear more where the rest of my troops are. But yeah, I really wanted to get into combat with some of those plague drones and take them out. But anyway, that's what you get. So magic was 9 to 6. The only magic I've got is on on the war altar. So I was able to get all 3 prayers off on this, so that was not too bad. Yeah, and we do it with all that. We take them out, no problem. So this, yeah, it's pretty much all combat now. The game starts to take. It was really slow at the beginning, and then it took off really fast. So this is actually Demon turn 4 and Empire turn 4. I think it's just you can see I've lost a Demigriff on the left combat. He's lost a couple of Furies who charged into the flank. I basically went all my attacks onto those Furies to try and get some combat res up, and I only managed to get 3 through on his ward saves, so not going too well there. He's got only 1 wound. It looks like I've caused 2 wounds to a plague drone. He's caused 2 wounds to one of my demis. My Potentbill and the 3 demis have gone into the beasts, and just hoping for some, get the prayers off and see what I can do. And again, magic's not 9 to 5 is good enough to get all the prayers off again, which is great. But it doesn't do a whole lot by the look of it. But yeah, for impact hits, I don't think I rolled any. Like, didn't get any through. So when he's lost, but yeah, looks like I've maybe done 3 wounds. That's about it. He gets small wounds back on me. You can see the wound markers there. I think the 2 wound one's actually on the war altar. And then out in this combat, I'm losing demis. Managed to stick for a little bit, but not. I haven't taken out any of his. I've taken out the Furies, but I'm not taking out any of the Rotfly units, which is not going too well. This one, he manages to get 3 wounds through on my steam tank. I rolled 3. He got 3 through. I think they were 2 up saves, and I threw 3 ones. So that sucks. And then I think that could have been the last combat, and then another one the next round. He gets another one through, so not to 6. This combat's still just going. Nothing much happening. And in this combat, this is Demon's turn 5 still. He basically then goes all his attacks onto my Archlector. He ends up getting 3 wounds through. It breaks, gets away. My Demigriffs hold. And looks like we're still stuck here. So I've killed another 2. These Furies down here finally take out my Archer and overrun a bit. And yeah, it doesn't look like. I think my Pope Mobile rallied, but yeah, this combat was still going, and this combat was still going just, but then I lost and broke and ran, and he ran me down. think that was on his turn. My turn, Empire turn 5 was. So in his turn 6, he charges just 2 of them. He wants to keep that single one out so I don't get a hit at all. He charges them in the flank of those demis, so they're going to be dead. Yep. I've missed another picture here. These Furies, who should get MVP, charge my rallied War Altar. Probably did a wound or something. It's stubborn on a 5 or 4 or whatever it ended up being, and broke and ran, and they ran that down. So I think they've taken out, I don't know, 20 archers or something plus the Pope and Bill. So pretty good for a set of whatever they are, 70 points, or not even that, 35 or whatever they are. So it's fallen apart here. So Dim turn 6. We finally remember his Herald actually has a strength 2, no armor, so breath weapon. So he moves over and starts dishing it into my steam tank. Gets 2 wounds this turn. In my turn, it could be my turn, or I can't remember which turn it was, but one of the last turns of the game, I lose my Demigriffs. So they're gone. And then in my turn 6, we just roll up to see what his breath weapons will do on this one. Just thinking, do you only get 1 breath weapon a game? Oh, it doesn't matter. Who cares? He rolled 2 wounds and killed my steam tank. So tabled me. Yeah, difference about 1650. So it was a big win. If I could have got rid of some of those plague drones, more of them, maybe it would be a lot closer. But yeah, pretty bad. So I think just a quick recap of where I went wrong. I mean, deployment was, before I did this, when I did the list, I thought, look, I want to play with more archers to get more redirectors up there to protect my Hellblaster and my Pope, the War Altar and things like that. I just didn't play it well. I just didn't deploy them well. I mean, look where they are. They're really not going to be in a position to do too much. They should have just been in front of all those units. It was a bit strange. And then putting the Demigriffs like that, yeah, pretty poor. I should have either just lined them up and put the steam tank on the right to anchor one flank, and have those demis over on the left with the knights. And if I want, hold them back. If I didn't, move them up. But those in tandem, those knights and demis probably could have taken out those plague drones. But really, I've got the internal flame banner on the or banner of eternal flame on those 4 demis. I needed them near my halberds. I needed them near. Well, I ended up needing them near my halberds, but in reality, what I need to do is just find those drones, so the beasts, and go for them. But yep, these are things you learn. List thoughts. I don't know, it's good enough. I think it's the right list to beat Nurgle, and I just played it wrong. I think it's not too bad. There's probably a few little things that I'll do, but I want to try to see how I can deal with use these redirecting archers more. So I'll paint 15. Hopefully get 15 archers painted this week for the tournament, and see how it goes. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. Obviously got my butt kicked, but you gotta do that to learn. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time. Bye.